The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka is a professional accountancy body in Sri Lanka. If you are interested in being a qualified chartered accountant, well, this is a perfect time. Ms. Dulai Fernando, the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Sri Lanka, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. Okay. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Good evening to everyone. Let me also give a special nod to Dr. Shamil, Head of Department, University of California, Dr. Madhurika, Dr. Tishi Herat, who is the coordinator of the Bachelor of Commerce Special Degree, lecturers of the Department of Commerce and Financial Management, all the undergraduates, the organizers. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity for the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka to be a part of this Path to Pro program. So with that, I will start a brief introduction of the Chartered Institute. Can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Just let me know whether you can see.
Yes, ma'am, we can see.
Okay, right. So the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, as you know, most of you might know, we are located in Mallasekara Mawatha. We have been here for the past 63 years. We were formed by an Act of Parliament, and we have the proud history of 63 years. To date, we have passed out more than 7,500 members, that is members who have passed out as associate chartered accountants, and then later on, most of them have also taken their fellowship, and we have a proud student base of 30,000. That is our composition. The reason I'm telling you a little bit about Chartered is for you to understand the history and understand the presence we have in this country. Out of our member base, 66% of our members are in Sri Lanka, 34% of our members are overseas. And these members who are overseas and in Sri Lanka actually play very important roles. And I will also tell you towards the presentation how this chartered qualification is recognized throughout the world. So when I refer to the members who are overseas, it's not just a few countries. I mean, yes, we have in places like Dubai, Qatar, Kuwait. In addition to that, we have a huge member base in Australia. We have a huge member base in London, in the UK. We have a member base in Canada, in the US. And so our members are based all over the world in African countries, as you all might already know. So that is what the chartered qualification can give you. That's the level of doors that it can open up for you. Then, like I said, a quick snapshot. If we take our chartered accountants today, we have about 66 CEOs. I myself am a chartered accountant. Then we have about over 2,000 CFO people who are holding CFO positions, about 19 CEOs, and about 498 directors, that is board directors. So this is what Chartered can do for you. These are the doors that it can open up for you. Then if I talk a little bit about our Chartered curriculum, what this is all about, I would like to keep this thought with all of you students. Our curriculum is something that is ever evolving. So we do, every 5 years, we do a major curriculum revision, and the last one was done in 2020. But thereafter, as an ongoing process, on an annual basis, we check to see whether our material is in par with the market requirements. That is how dedicated we are for our students. So if you take Chartered, some of you might already know, some of you might not be aware, we have 4 levels. Actually, it goes as 3 main levels. The first level is business level, which comprises of business level 1 and 2. Then we have the next level, which is the corporate level. And then the last level is called the strategic level. So a student who is completing business level, of course, you also need to keep in mind, it's not just about the studies. We also look at the skills part of it. We look at the skill development and the professional skills. That is looking at the English knowledge, looking at the IT knowledge. So all these 4 stages have a English, which is called corporate communication, and the IT paper. So just keep that in mind. That is not to burden the students. We strongly feel that that is something that the students need today. Yeah, just again, this is a snapshot of our qualifications. A student who completes, we also give this, it's called the exit route. That is with the understanding that, remember I told you we have 30,000 students and we have about 7,600 members. So it's understood that all the students who register might not necessarily complete chartered, and that is okay. We've come up with exit route so that they are recognized in the level at which they exit. So for example, a person who completes the first 2 levels, that is the business level, can pass out as a certified business accountant. And a certified business accountant, even in today's market, has a lot of job potentials. Then the next level, if they complete their business level and their corporate level, they can pass out as a certified corporate accountant, a CCA accountant. The last stage, if you complete all your stages, all your requirements, that is the IT to English to everything, you can pass out as a associate chartered accountant. So this is something that I wanted to leave with you all because different people have different ambitions. Some of you might want to complete chartered at a mid-level, become mid-level accountants, or it might even, you might decide to do this to complement something that you all are already doing. So if that is the case, exiting at a mid-level is still going to give you a huge recognition. And I must also tell you, I'm proud to say this, our chartered accountants, at whatever level they are in, whether they are at the CBA level, CCA level, or the associate membership level, they are employed. There is a huge market for chartered accountants. We are the national body of accountants in Sri Lanka. And even to date, if you go out there and say you're a chartered accountant, the recognition that you get in Sri Lanka or overseas is huge. That is, you can take it from me. Like I said, I'm a chartered accountant as well. So that is something firsthand I can tell you. There's a huge recognition. There are lots of opportunities. Because I mean, even if I take my career from the day I qualified till today, I've always had very good opportunities in organizations that I've worked with. Finally, now I work as a CEO for this Chartered Institute. I've moved out of the finance arena. I don't get involved with finance, but definitely that background that I got, the knowledge that I got, the training, all that has really helped me to do what I'm doing today. Then, like I said, our CBA membership is about 4,700, and CCA and CSBA we introduced very recently. So we have a very small member base of about 100. Okay. This is the part that, this is another part I want to explain to you. Remember what I said, when we look at the curriculum, it's not about just giving you all the knowledge, because remember, a chartered accountant can't function or can't go and really perform in an organization if you're purely academic. So that's why we have looked at the soft skills part of it, the professional skills. So one, like I mentioned earlier, one professional skill is the strategic, the communication. The other one is that you have an English paper that you need to do, and there are 3 IT papers that you have to do before you finally pass out as a chartered accountant. But remember, there is proper guidance for this. There is a proper, we give you the proper backing. Now, if you take the English exams, towards the latter part, there's a lot of speaking testing that is done. So there's a lot of personality building that happens. So that part is very important. And I must also tell you, when you finish your 4 stages, there is a case study paper. Remember, something that is really good about doing the exams is when you come to the case study, you're actually using all that knowledge that you gain throughout your chartered career, and then you do the final case study. Once you do the case study, or just before you do the case study, we actually have a residential program. That is, we get all the students, we usually take them to a hotel, and we do a 3-day residential program where we do a personality building or a soft skill building program. We hire some of the best speakers, some of the best presenters in those areas, and we get them to come and do small sessions. So usually the session is about 60 for one session, so that you have a very much a one-on-one interaction, and that in that you learn about presentations, you learn about how to conduct yourself as a professional, what is important, how to write a CV. All that is taught in that 3-day residential program. And also keep in mind, when you complete your exams and your case study, finally you have a viva. Viva is like an interview process that is before you finally get your membership. And then there is another interesting part. Before you actually graduate, we have an orientation program, which is a 1-day orientation program. No testing or anything. It's a very very relaxed atmosphere where we actually again give you skills on simple skills, like even how to use proper cutlery when you're going for a proper 5-star meal. So that sort of thing, and how to dress for particular occasions, again how to do your CV, how to face an interview. So we even do things like that, and mind you, all of this is done free of charge. So this is again looking at how to develop a student. So even the residential program that we do for 3 days, even though we have it in a hotel, unfortunately, the last 1.5 to 2 years, we've not been able to have it at a hotel because of the COVID restrictions, and now because of the fuel restrictions. But all of that is done free of charge for students. Then the next part that I want to touch on, maybe this is a negative thought that is there in a lot of people's mind. It's about training, practical training. Now, practical training, we have, for you to pass out as a chartered accountant, you need 3 years of practical training. That is, at business level, you need 220 working days. At the corporate level, another 220. And at the strategic level, another 220 working days. Now, something that I can tell you personally is that training is what molds you. Because when you do a training while doing your studies, there is so much that you gain, right? The easiest thing would be to complete the exams, do the training where you might not always see that correlation. When you do your training, which is under a chartered accountant, you get mentored, you get groomed, you manage to actually use that knowledge that you're learning in a practical way. And that makes your performance, even at the examination, much better. So please don't think, a lot of people look at chartered. I know we get the feedback. A lot of people look at chartered and think, oh my God, they need 3 years of training, whereas some of the other institutions might be a little more lenient on it. But like I said, as a person who has gone through this, I can tell you firsthand, it's the training, it's that molding that gets you to sit where you are today. It's that the confidence, that knowledge, it's DA for one as in organization. To be an entrepreneur, to be a CEO, Remember, when you are doing chartered, sky is the limit, and you should not hinder yourself with a small dream. Have big dreams. So remember, when you're doing the training, it will help you achieve your big dreams. So don't ever look at this training, this practical training, as a hindrance. And I must also say, I know more. I was told that you all have to go through your internship. So keep in mind, when you're doing your internship, if you sign off with one of our approved training partners. So we have approved training partners in public practice. We have about 200 public practice firms, and then we have non-public practice, that is normal organizations. We have more than 600 odd. So there you have the opportunity to work under more than 800 firms or organizations. So you have a huge selection. And remember, all of these organizations have either 1 or 2 chartered accountants. And the organizations give you a vast training. It's not only because like I said, I did charter a long time ago, true. But when it comes to training, it's not just how to do accounts. It's not just how to read a cash flow. When you're doing your training, you will look at taxes. You will look at cash flows. You will look at the P&L. You will look at the balance sheet. You will look at how to read board minutes. You will look at how to register an organization. You will understand how to see the accuracy of salaries, right? So it's a vast area that you're looking at. And then, of course, how to make strategic decisions, because all of those things you will have access to. That's why I said it's a that 3-year training is an absolutely interesting area. So that you should make the most of it, because that will really help you. And remember, there are more than 800 odd organizations to help you do that. You need to sign a training agreement with the Chartered Institute so that the records are sent to the Chartered Institute. It's all online. And then you don't have to, you actually can update it online. And then we basically look at your training, and then it gets registered as training that has been carried out. Then the next part that I want to tell you is we actually, a couple of years back, I think about 2 years back, we signed an agreement with the Institute of Chartered Accountants, England and Wales. Now, for those of you who don't know what ICAEW, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, stands for, they are probably the most recognized, prestigious chartered body in the whole world. They are based in UK. That's why it's called England and Wales. And they are undoubtedly the most recognized chartered body in the whole world. So we had the privilege to be the only body to sign an agreement with them where you as a student can do business level, corporate level, and without doing the strategic level, which is the final stage in our chartered local, you actually do 3 papers in their finals, ICAEW. And they recognize our training. They recognize the knowledge that you gained in business level and corporate level. And when you do the 3 subjects in the final stage, you get chartered membership as well as ICAEW membership. So that's the beauty. That is something that opens a whole new world for you all, because you get the most recognized local qualification and the most recognized foreign qualification just by doing 1 exam. You don't have to do the strategic level. You don't have to do the strategic level papers in Chartered. Instead of that, you do the finals in ICAEW, and you can do that from Sri Lanka. You don't have to go there. You can do that. And like I said, the best part is they recognize the training that you have covered under a local chartered accountant. So keep that in mind, because that is a pathway that a lot of people will not get. Then I must also tell you, remember I mentioned to you, Chartered is it's actually it has limitless boundaries. It opens doors for you in many countries. ICAEW, I already mentioned to you as a student, how you can become a member. Even if you don't take that option, once you become a chartered accountant, After 5 years' time, you can get membership at ICAEW. That is because of MOU we have signed. Similarly, we have signed member recognition agreements, MRAs, with the Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, CPA Ireland, CPA Australia, and CIMA, where when you complete Chartered, you can automatically get, in certain places you have to do one paper or so, but some places you can automatically get your membership. They will evaluate it. So even if you have plans to migrate to Australia or Ireland or UK, this qualification will then help you get the qualification in that country. Say, for example, Chartered Accountants, Australia and New Zealand. With our chartered, you can go there and do that and obtain that membership. So like I said, this is a qualification that opens doors for you in across the globe. Then I must also mention that we have given exemptions for the Kalaniya Accountancy Special Degree. There again, I've shown it in my presentation here. I know it's not applicable for you all, but I just wanted to mention that the Kalaniya Accountancy Special Degree and the Kalaniya Finance Special Degrees have been given exemptions to do chartered. And I know you all are BCom special students and BCom special on financial management. We are currently working with the Kalaniya University to finalize the exemptions we can give for your degree. So as soon as that is finalized, which I believe will be done fairly soon because we are in the progress of doing the mapping, we will let you know. We will definitely keep in touch with you and we will let you know what the exemptions are. And then you don't have to, if you are interested in going through the exemption path, you can take the exemptions and do chartered, or if you don't want to wait for it, you can register straight away. Then I also don't know whether you all are students, any students are doing CIMA or ACCA at the moment. Something that I wanted to leave with you a thought, this is not to, poach students from any other professional institute because we respect all institutes. But we understand the fact that right now there is a huge issue in the country with foreign exchange. People are finding it difficult to make payments, and also because of the dollar and the pound going up, the cost is absolutely high. So taking that into consideration, we've introduced stage-wise exemptions for CIMA and ACCA students. So if you are a CIMA or ACCA student who has stopped at a particular stage or is ongoing and still want to do chartered, you can speak to the institute and we will tell you what your level of exemption would be. So this is something that we introduce, mainly looking at the cost, because like I said, we are the national accounting body and we thought it is our duty to make sure that we help our students, help fellow members to be with this at this time. So this is something that you can keep a note of. Then also finally, something that I want to leave you with is the fact that most of our student related functions have been automated. I also already mentioned to you the training part is done online. So similarly, even during the COVID time, we didn't postpone a single exam. We were probably one of the only institutes that didn't postpone a single exam. We immediately invested on the necessary infrastructure, and we started having online exams at all levels, business level as well as corporate and strategic level. So that is something that we are proud of. So we've continuously had these online exams. Now when the situation is better, we tend to have physical exams as well because a lot of students prefer that. But we will probably give the option of doing in online examinations as well. And study packs, I must also tell you, every stage, every subject has a study pack, which you're actually required to purchase, but our study packs are given at a concessionary rate. It's not that expensive, but our study packs are done by BPP UK. BPP UK is one of the most renowned, known organizations to do to do study material. So all our study packs, except for the local ones where it's local knowledge like taxation. Other than that, all our study packs are done in UK by BPP. So they are for very high quality. And we encourage all students to go through the study pack, because if you go through the study pack and the revision kit, you actually gain the knowledge that is required. And like I said, we are always keeping the student in mind. A couple of years ago, we introduced free online webinars. Free. Right now, we cover all subjects, all lessons through our webinar series. The webinar series can be, once you are a registered student, you will be given access to the webinar series. There are so many students who tell me that they have got through the exams without following classes purely because of this webinar series, because we use the top-notch lecturers and we get them to do this webinar series. So again, this is given to students free of charge. So this is something that is, if you join with us, this is a huge array of knowledge that you'll be able to get. Finally, I want to also keep this thought with you. Chartered is actually not an expensive examination. Our student registration is only 2,200 rupees every year. So it's an affordable qualification. Of course, when it's affordable, but at the same time, it's going to open up doors for you where you probably can't imagine. So have those big dreams, because the big dreams is what you need to be successful. And I honestly believe that the Chartered will open those doors for you. So we are there to help you. We are there to guide you. If you want any guidance, please feel free to reach out to us. I've given you the student hotline number, and I've also given you can take both those numbers down and reach out to us at any given time. We also have an inquiry process where if you want to inquire regarding something, you can always write to us and we will get back to you. You all are really at the forefront of you all are very young, so the whole world is in front of you. So it's very important that you make the right decision. It's very important that you make the decision with all the information in hand. Sometimes there are times people say Chartered is difficult, all those things. But honestly, Chartered is not difficult. If you go through your study packs, if you go through the webinar series, which is free of charge, Chartered is not a difficult exam. We have prize winners who get over 90 marks. So it's doable, because we have chartered accountants completing Chartered at the age of 22. That is how fast they complete their Chartered. 22, 23, they complete their Chartered. So that is the beauty of it. That is when I say Chartered, remember, it's the training, everything. They complete and they become Chartered accountants. So this is a dream that you can achieve, and we will be proud to be a part of that dream. We are very proud of our 7,500 odd members who are right now working across the globe. I can take up any questions if you all have. So this is what I wanted to share with you all. All the very best. If there are any questions, Dinura, I can take up.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights with us. Next, let's move on to the Q&A session. If you have any questions regarding CA, you can use your chat box or unmute yourself to ask questions.
Okay, so there is one question. I think this question is for me. Madam, is it okay if we complete the training period in a non-audit firm? Absolutely. So like I said, we have about 200 odd audit firms and about 600 odd non-audit firms. So yes, you can, and you will still be trained under a chartered accountant. And like I said, you will be, you won't be limited to one area. You'll have a wealth of experience. And so yes, the simple answer is yes, you can train in a non-audit sector. what are the areas we can do after completing the corporate level? Okay, so that's a very good question. So thank you for asking that. When you complete your corporate level, that is like I said, you completed your business level and you completed your corporate level. If you have your 2 years of training and you've also done your English and your IT, you can become a CCA. Okay, CCA members today can easily become financial controllers or finance managements in the SME sector. Even in large conglomerates, you can definitely join at a mid-level as a mid-level accountant. So this, you have a lot of opportunities because you have only one more stage to complete. So definitely the market will look at the fact that you completed these 2 levels and you have a wealth of knowledge. And with that, the job market will you definitely have a very good opportunity in the job market.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Can we do audit training for 1 year and non-audit training for other 2 years while doing
Yes.
CIMA?
Yes, you can. You can.
Thank
There
you.
is no such rule saying if you sign off with the audit firm that you have to continue all 3 years with audit firm. That's not there. You can switch. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
So CBA, is it recognized in foreign countries? Actually, we are trying to get that recognition in foreign countries. We are working with the foreign ministry. Okay, I think again, excellent question. So we actually have, we recently worked with ENIC. ENIC is the UK body that gives, it's like, it gives a rating to your qualifications. So maybe that is something I should have mentioned. So based on that ENIC recognition, CBA, CCA, and ACA levels are all they've taken. Now they say that ACA is equivalent to MBA. And then CCA is equivalent to I can't exactly remember what it is, but there are 3 stages where they equalize it to a proper degree. So yes, with that, CBA is also recognized in foreign countries. Okay, how to apply for training through job bank? That is, if you're asking me about the chartered job bank, our chartered job bank, usually we advertise vacancies that are there. So if you want to apply to something like that, you can definitely, there'll be an email given where you can send your CV. In addition to that, if you are interested in joining a training organization, you can always reach out to the training department, and sometimes they are also aware of what the vacancies are, and they will definitely tell you. There are times we even help students to get training, to get training jobs. So that is something that we can help you with. Okay, so like I mentioned, the BCom special, we've not finalized the exemption still. We are working with the Canada University. Actually, we are still doing the mapping. So we are going, that process takes a bit of time because a one-to-one mapping is done. So it will probably take another 2 to 3 months. As soon as it's done, we will let you know. So to do the strategic level, you need 3 years. What is the minimum qualified level for a good job? It's how you define good job, because even at a CBA level, you can definitely, if you're joining SME, that is a small and medium enterprise, that level of organization, you can still, with CBA, you might be able to join as an accountant. Or if you only have a CBA, but I would advise you as a minimum qualification to at least have CBA. That is, you're completing your two levels of exams, and you're completing 1 year of training, and you're getting a membership. So that is very important. So I think the minimum qualified level for a good job would be at least a CBA level. Can we specialize in law with CA? That is, I think, is the question that you're asking me is after doing CA, if you're doing law, whether there are any exemptions. If that is the question, that you will need to check with the law college, because we also have law papers in our curriculum. So most probably they will check that and see whether there is an exemption rule, but I will not be able to answer that. Madam, can we complete CA levels online? If you're asking me about examinations, like I mentioned, yes, there are times we have online examinations. There are also times we have physical exams. So I can't give you a guarantee that it will only be online because we do have physical exams. A lot of students prefer that. We actually did a survey to figure out what students prefer, and a lot of students prefer that. That's why we are opting for the physical exam structure. But yes, there are times we have online exams also, especially if the country situation is not good. It could be fall, it could be COVID, then we have online examinations. So I think they were, again, the exemption part is asked. Exemption part, like I said, I won't be able to give you an answer right now because we are working on that. Process of obtaining the CBA and CCA qualification except after completing the relevant subject. Yes, so like I mentioned, if you have completed your business level and your 1-year training, you can get the CBA certificate. If you have completed your business level and corporate level and completed 2 years of training, you can get the CCA membership. That all you have to do is I've given you that hot number. You can speak to us, and then they will check your training and the examination results, and then it's a very straightforward process. And remember, when you become a CBA or CCA member, you are also a part of a elite crowd. We do a lot of free trainings for them. We do a lot of professional development for them. So you will be called in to join. It can be expanding your knowledge in tax, it can be on soft skills, it can be anything. So there's a lot of opportunities you get when you become a member, a CCA or a CBA member.
Madam, are there any special benefits by going to audit firm?
That is okay. I actually can't give you an answer for that because I would say that's a personal choice. It's what you now. There are people who want to be in the audit sector now. Like after they complete their chartered, if you take the partners in audit firms, so they have been in audit firms throughout. So that is their passion. If you take me, I stayed in those days when we did chartered, we needed 4 years of training. So I stayed for 4 years in audit firm. But as soon as my 4 years was complete, I left the audit firm and I joined the mercantile sector. I believe that the training that you get from audit firm is excellent. Because you actually get to go to organizations and learn their processes. That is something that is helping me even today. I remember some of those things we learned, how to have a good process, how to make sure that the controls are in place. So you get a wealth of knowledge by joining audit firm. But having said that, like I said, it's your personal choice. I won't say one is better than the other. I honestly can't say that. Okay, we want to do an IT exam and English, then do it and English separately for the business level and the two. Okay, I'm not very clear on the question, but I'll try to answer based on my understanding. Please, me ඕනම භාෂාවකින් කතා කරන්න මට උත්තර දෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ මොකද්ද IT එකයි English එකයි මම කිව්වා වගේ stage wise යන්නේ. Business level එකේ කරන්න තියෙනවා CS1 එක, ඊළඟට corporate level business level 1 and 2 එකේ, ඊට පස්සේ CS1 CS2 CS3 CS4 ඕක තමයි stages 4ට යන්නේ. ඊළඟට IT එක යනවා, IT exams 3ක් තියෙනවා. මේ තුනම stage wise යන්න ඕනේ. එකම දේ මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපි පොඩි සහනයක් දීලා තියෙනවා. මේ තියෙන වාතාවරණයත් එක්ක අපි ළමයින්ට පුෂ් කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේ අවුරුද්දේ ගානට ඒක වෙලාවට ඉවර කරන්න කියලා අපි පොඩි සහනයක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට එක්සෑම් කරන්න ඉංග්‍රීසි එකයි IT එකයි නැතුව. හැබැයි ඒකත් ෆයිනල් එකට එන්න කලින් අනිවාර්යෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක මේ මාස 6ට පමණක් දුන්න සහනයක්. මම ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තර දුන්නේ නැත්නම් ප්ලීස් මගෙන් ආයෙ අහන්න. මම තේරිච්ච විදිහටයි උත්තර දුන්නේ. Okay, so that's a very good question. CCA has 4 specialization parts. Yes, that's correct. CCA may pass out උනාට පස්සේ you can specialize in 4 areas: actuarial science, financial analytics. So there are 4 areas like that you can specialize in. Those specialization courses are also done by the institute, and the examinations will be conducted by the examinations division. Once you complete the course, you can obtain the specialization in that area. So that is, a lot of people, there are people who don't want to complete their chartered. After doing their CCA, they go for the option of going for a specialization. Now, say for example, if you go for actuarial science, if you take the whole of Sri Lanka, there are only a handful of actuarial valuers. So they are in high demand. So there are people who think without completing their chartered, after CCA, doing actuarial valuation that's their dream, becoming an actuarial valuer. Like I said, this all depends on what your big dream is. Process of applying for training, if you go to our website, that process is clearly given. If it is not clear, please call us on one of these numbers. Please take down these numbers and call us on these numbers. The hotline will direct you to the relevant division, and we will guide you on how to register for training. Do we get a certificate after completing each level? You get a certificate when you become a CBA and CCA member, yes. But if not at examination level, you get a transcript to say that you have completed your exams. But when you obtain your CBA and CCA, yes, for sure, you get a certificate. If I'm running out of time, please let me know. There are quite a few questions. Do we have to complete accountancy degree to be a CA accountant after getting exemptions for corporate level and to do strategic level and be a CA accountant? So you don't need a degree to be a chartered accountant. You only need 3 simple passes in your A-levels. If that is the question you're asking me, no, you don't need a degree. If you have a degree, depending on from where you have the degree, there are exemptions. Like I said, the BCom special and the BCom special in financial management, we are still working on the exemptions, but we should be able to let you all know within the next 2 to 3 months of what those exemptions are. No. Is it possible to face the corporate level without CS2? No, you have to have your CS2 to do corporate level. But this year, this 6 months, we've given you a small window where you can do your corporate level without CS2. So if you are a student who has not done CS2, you have the opportunity to do the corporate level because we've given that small window, like podi sahanayak dila thiyena අපි ඔයගලන්ට එතන. Actually, English and IT, you're asking me whether there is, we need to go for classes. For English, yes, we require attendance to be covered by 80% of the attendance need to be there because, like I said, this is not just learning of a book. It's speaking, it's listening, all of that. So again, you can speak to our MELC division, MELC, M-E-L-C, MELC division, and they will guide you on how to, I mean, the IT lectures are done at the institute. They will guide you. Do we have a separate training for IT? No, there is no separate training for IT. Is it matter if we have a repeat subject to be qualified? No. And there are so many chartered accountants who fail in their exams, who repeat. That's not a problem. That's part of life. Only thing is you shouldn't give up. That's the advice I would give you. Don't give up. If you come down, do it again, figure out where you have gone wrong, see where you have not done well, and try and do a better job next time. I don't think you should ever get disheartened if you fail exam. I mean, personally, I don't think that's not advice I would give even a child of mine. I would tell them to get disheartened. I mean, that happens to all of us. I think I've answered all the questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dulani. So that's the conclusion of the Q&A session. Ms. Dulani, it's so good to have you here. And again, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, Kavindya.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.